Guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is a manipulative tactic that exploits a person's sense of empathy and compassion. It involves making someone feel responsible for another's negative emotions or circumstances. This tactic often manifests through phrases like, if you cared about me, you would, or you're making me feel so awful. Guilt trippers weaponize emotions to coerce compliance, fostering an atmosphere of emotional coercion rather than genuine understanding. Manipulating through guilt operates on the premise of emotional coercion, where the manipulator exploits the victim's compassion to achieve their goals. This strategy can be particularly subtle in intimate relationships, where individuals often feel compelled to prioritize their loved one's needs, sometimes to their own detriment. Additionally, guilt tripping can profoundly impact the victim's psychological and emotional state over time. Gradually, individuals may internalize the notion that they bear sole responsibility for others' emotions, leading to a cycle of self-sacrifice and emotional depletion. Gaslighting. Gaslighting emerges as a nuanced psychological ploy designed to sow seeds of doubt within the victim's mind regarding their perceptions, memories, and overall sanity. Gaslighters craftily distort reality by dismissing or belittling the victim's experiences, casting shadows of uncertainty, utilizing phrases such as, "you're merely overthinking," or "that's just your imagination." They undermine the validity of the victim's emotions and experiences, eroding their self-assurance. This insidious manipulation breeds a reliance on the gaslighter for affirmation and validation, further entrenching the victim's susceptibility to manipulation. Employing a blend of denial, deception, and manipulation, gaslighters sow seeds of doubt and perplexity in the victim's psyche, prompting them to question their own perceptions and sanity. Gradually, this insidious tactic can cultivate feelings of powerlessness, estrangement, and profound psychological trauma. Moreover, gaslighting frequently intertwines with other forms of manipulation, heightening its impact. For instance, a gaslighter may intertwine guilt tripping or love bombing to cement their dominance over the victim, intensifying feelings of disorientation and dependency. Recognizing the subtleties of gaslighting is crucial for emancipating oneself from its clutches and reclaiming a grounded sense of reality and agency. Love bombing. Love bombing is an excessive display of affection and attention used to manipulate others, particularly in romantic relationships or cult-like dynamics. Manipulators shower their target with flattery, gifts, and constant attention to create an illusion of intimacy and dependency. Once the victim is emotionally invested, the manipulator may gradually withdraw affection or demand reciprocation, trapping the victim in a cycle of dependence. Love bombing operates by exploiting the victim's desire for love, validation, and connection. By inundating the victim with affection and attention, manipulators create a false sense of security and belonging, making it difficult for the victim to recognize the underlying manipulation. This tactic preys on vulnerabilities such as low self-esteem or past trauma to establish control and dependency within the relationship. Moreover, love bombing can have detrimental effects on the victim's emotional well-being and autonomy. Breaking free from the cycle of love bombing often requires recognizing the manipulation tactics at play, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self-care and personal growth. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail, akin to a sinister symphony orchestrated within the realm of manipulation, thrives on the exploitation of human emotions' deepest crevices to serve its sinister ends. Like a masterful puppeteer, the blackmailer deftly pulls the strings of their victims' vulnerabilities, employing threats, guilt, and affectional manipulation to bend them to their will. Through a delicate dance of insinuations and ultimatums, they wield their victims' emotions like weapons, inducing fear, guilt, or shame to coerce compliance. With each passing moment, their sense of self-worth crumbles under the relentless onslaught of emotional manipulation, leaving them stranded in a toxic cycle where autonomy and agency are mere illusions. Breaking free from the clutches of emotional blackmail demands an unwavering display of courage and resilience. It requires the steadfast assertion of boundaries and an unwavering refusal to be held captive by the whims of the manipulator. Playing the victim. The act of playing the victim involves portraying oneself as powerless, oppressed, or unfairly treated to evoke sympathy and deflect accountability. Manipulators exploit compassion by framing themselves as the suffering party, often exaggerating hardships or fabricating tales of adversity. This tactic manipulates others into offering support or concessions out of guilt or a desire to alleviate perceived suffering. By manipulating emotions and perceptions, manipulators gain sympathy and leverage over others. deflecting accountability for their actions. This tactic is particularly effective in interpersonal conflicts or power struggles, where the victim's perceived vulnerability can sway opinions and garner sympathy. Breaking free from this manipulation requires challenging the narrative of victimhood, setting boundaries, and holding the manipulator accountable. Through decisive action, individuals can reclaim agency and foster environments of honesty and mutual respect. Fear-mongering. Fear-mongering relies on instilling fear or anxiety to manipulate behavior or opinions. Manipulators exaggerate threats or dangers, whether real or perceived, to control others' actions. They may use fear tactics to coerce compliance, suppress dissent, or justify authoritarian measures. Fear-mongering undermines critical thinking and fosters a climate of paranoia and distrust. By amplifying perceived threats or dangers, manipulators instill a sense of urgency and vulnerability, making it easier to manipulate the victim's thoughts and behaviors. This tactic can be particularly effective in situations of uncertainty or crisis. Moreover, fear-mongering can have far-reaching consequences for individuals and society as a whole. Recognizing fear-mongering tactics is essential for preserving rationality, promoting informed decision-making, and safeguarding against manipulation in various domains of life. Triangulation. Triangulation is a sophisticated maneuver that involves manipulating relationships by entangling a third party to breed tension, competition, or reliance. Manipulators utilize triangulation to steer narratives, provoke envy, or erode trust among individuals. By interposing a third party, the manipulator preserves power dynamics and evades responsibility. Through the inclusion of a third party, manipulators forge a tangled web of relationships where communication and trust falter, facilitating narrative manipulation and reinforcing control. In intimate relationships, where emotions run deep, feelings of jealousy, insecurity, and betrayal are further exacerbated by triangulation's damaging effects. Moreover, triangulation perpetuates cycles of manipulation and toxicity within relationships, exacerbating discord and strife. Through deliberate action and resilience, individuals can liberate themselves from the suffocating grip of manipulation and foster environments conducive to authenticity and harmony. Isolation. Isolation is a tactic that involves cutting off a person from external support systems, thereby increasing their vulnerability to manipulation. Manipulators may subtly discourage or prevent their target from maintaining relationships with friends, family, or other sources of social support. By monopolizing the victim's time and attention, manipulators gain greater control over their thoughts and behaviors. Isolation operates by creating dependency and fostering a sense of powerlessness in the victim. By severing ties with external support systems, manipulators eliminate potential sources of validation, feedback, and perspective that could challenge their control. This tactic can be particularly effective in abusive relationships, where the victim's isolation is reinforced through threats, coercion, or psychological manipulation. Breaking free from isolation often requires reaching out to trusted individuals, seeking professional support, and rebuilding social connections outside of the manipulative relationship. If you like this video, make sure to check out our other video about every birth generation explained in 9 minutes. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and express your support through likes. See you soon.